Welcome to the edition of Oxford News This Week. I'm Jim Hughes, and on this edition, some of our headlines: an anniversary remembering those lost, student-led steps also to move forward. Also, engineering design, a contract, and community grants in the Village Council for projects ahead, and celebrating the holiday season all the way across Oxford. Sit back, stay tuned. You're watching Oxford News This Week. Welcome back, in a day that will always be remembered here in Oxford, Wildcat Remembrance Day. It happened last Thursday, the 30th. Oxford Community Television would like to actually take a moment, reflect on the wonderful lives that were lost in that 2-year mark since the tragedy. Madison, a 17-year-old National Honor Society member, an artist who enjoyed drawing, reading, writing. She had received multiple college acceptances and scholarships. Tate was 16, a linebacker, tight end, also on the Oxford football team. He is remembered through the 42 Strong Foundation, an organization that offers peer-to-peer mentorship in honor of selflessness and leadership. Justin, 17, co-captained the bowling team and worked at a restaurant locally at Anita's Kitchen, was known for his exemplary service and was very devoted. Hannah was a 14-year-old beloved sister, an integral part of the volleyball team, who was kind, passionate, and her life and the lives around her of all the students had made commented and commemorated in the budding Hannah Garden on Seymour Lake Park. Again, every year the state will be remembered. Into the future, we remember these wonderful members of our community with the impact and inspiring legacies. Again, 7 p.m. last Thursday, Oxford lit candles, luminaries, in remembrance of their lives to continue to light up Oxford and beyond with love. Again, your thought, we pray every day for those lost lives. In the wake of the momentous anniversary, though, students were actually demanding change with the results of trauma recovery services, and a memorial. Around 35 Oxford High School students walked out of class on November 21st in an expression of continued frustration over the lack of action nearly 2 years after the school tragedy. The demands came in document and issued before a rally of newly organized student group, We Will Be Heard, sharing that their trauma has been overlooked. These students also asked for proper memorials with images of the 4 students lost in the shooting. The group also demanded that the individuals named in the Independent Guidepost Solution report on the shooting be held accountable for their actions. These included school board members, school board president, Heather Schaefer, and former high school principal Stephen Wolf. Students stayed outside for up to a half an hour. Oxford Superintendent Vicki Markovich called the organization safe and orderly. The Oxford Village Council approved an engineering and design contract for the village to lead in the Copper Rule Water Project on Park Street on November 14th. The project will include full lead service replacement, storm and sewer improvements, new asphalt pavement. The project was created in partnership with the Engineering and Survey Services Rowe Engineering. Rowe anticipates the project will cost $821,000, and the company will coordinate retaining services, assist in the bidding process, and create other applications and contract documents. The project will stretch from Mechanic Street to Pontiac Street, including Hovey Street. Construction is projected to take place in the summer of 2024, during that which the road will be closed to all through traffic. In other village news, the council recently held up its annual public hearing to determine the Community Block Grant recipient. 2024, a $3,500 sum is going towards the Oxford Orient Fish Food Pantry for the use in public service projects. The remaining funds from the grant, $7,000, will be in removing asbestos from the village offices. The funding for the grant comes from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, local organization Love Inc., Pontiac-based Women's Shelter Haven were also interested in the grant, although the council recognized that all the organizations were definitely worthy. The Oxford Orient Fish was eventually selected. The council approved the grant and the asbestos public service by a vote of 4-0. The Oxford Board of Education narrowed its selection of superintendent search firms at a recent board meeting. On the November 14th board meeting, they voted unanimously to approve the recommendation for the board. Superintendent search, the subcommittee invite 3 search firms to interview at the next board meeting. A superintendent search firm assists school boards in finding the ideal superintendent for their districts. The Oxford Board of Education subcommittee, tasked with the choosing of the search firm, gave each score of their proposals out of 40 points. Hazard, Young, Attia, and Associates, a firm based out of Illinois that has helped the Clarkston school system in other searches. The second, third scoring firm was Michigan Leadership Institute and McPherson and Jacobson, LLC, 34 and 33 points respectively. The Michigan Association of Boards scored lowest after the firms made their presentation on the November 28th. Hazard, Young, Attia, and Associates again was chosen. That vote, 7-0. Searching holiday cheer will not be hard to find. Oxford Santa for Seniors Project, the Oxford Township office is collecting small gift items, monetary donations for local seniors who participate in the Meals for Wheels program. From now and through December 13th, township officials are hoping to make holiday season a little brighter for those in need with some extra support. Gifts should be small, unwrapped. Suggested gift ideas include socks, slippers, activity books, card games, personal care items, nuts, candles, 2024, the 2024 calendars. Donations can also be dropped off at the Oxford Township office, the public library, the village office, the Oxford Township Parks and Rec Department if you'd like to contribute. The calendar is for the dogs. As we approach the new year, the Oakland County Sheriff's Office had announced the 2024 Comfort K9 Unit Calendar. These calendars feature 13 of the Comfort K9s, a group of doggy deputies helping to support those in special situations who need smiling canines bringing them cheer. The calendar is limited quantities. Proceeds go to benefit the Comfort K9 program. If you are interested in purchasing a calendar or more information about the program, contact Oakland County Sheriff's official Facebook page. In our Behind the Lens segment, oh yes, we have come to enjoy that over this past year, something we look forward to every newscast. In our Behind the Lens, with the festivities looming with only a display, some members of the Oxford Fire Department and their families were able to share Thanksgiving together. Again, they were there. They had hope that everyone was able to enjoy their warm meal with good company. Take a look at some of the feast that took part at the fire department, and we thank them for their service while we were enjoying our holiday meal. Once again, in our last story, happy historical holiday. That'll be following in our last story today. Up next, Dave Kenny and Auto Talk and Science in the News. I'll be back in a brief moment. We'll be viewing our sports for this newscast on Oxford News This Week.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Canine Stray Rescue does just that. Rescue stray dogs for new families. But they need your help. Become a volunteer at Canine Stray Rescue League of Michigan. Take dogs for walks, help them socialize with others, and help them get adopted. Fill out an application and help a family add a new member today.
Hello, this is Lomas Brown, ex-Detroit Lion, and you're watching OCTV. That's Oxford Community TV. Check it out.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from Automotive News, and they're all recalls. America Honda Motor Company is recalling more than 300,000 Accord and HR-V vehicles in the U.S. for a missing rivet in the front seat belt pretensioners. The recall covers certain 2023 to 24 Honda Accord midsize sedans and HR-V subcompact crossovers. Honda did not say how many vehicles could be affected in Canada and Mexico, however. The seatbelt pretensioners in those vehicles could be missing a rivet that secures the quick connector and wire plate and therefore fail to comply with federal safety standards for occupant crash protection, seatbelt assemblies, and seatbelt assembly anchorages. Joyson Safety Systems makes the front seatbelt pretensioner assembly according to a recall report submitted November 21st to NHTSA. Honda told NHTSA that as of November 16th, it had received 7 warranty claims, but no reports or injuries or deaths related to the issue. To fix the problem, dealers will inspect and, if necessary, replace the pretensioners. Dealers were notified November 22nd, and vehicle owners will be notified starting January 8th. And at Stellantis, Stellantis is recalling more than 45,000 Jeep Wrangler plug-in hybrid SUVs globally after an internal investigation uncovered 8 vehicle fires. All 8 vehicles were parked and turned off when the fires occurred, while 6 of the vehicles were connected to EV chargers, the automaker said on November 22nd. The company was not aware of any related injuries or accidents. The recall covers certain 2021 to 2024 Jeep Wagoneer 4xe plug-in hybrid SUVs. About 32,000 vehicles are affected in the U.S., plus 3,900 in Canada and 9,200 outside North America. The affected vehicles can be driven, but Stellantis is advising customers to refrain from recharging them and to park away from structures and other vehicles until they are repaired. To fix the issue, dealers will check the software. If a certain error code appears, the battery pack will be replaced. Affected customers will be notified when they can schedule service. The Wrangler 4xe was Jeep's first plug-in model for the U.S., entering the market in 2021. And over at Honda, American Honda Motor Company is recalling nearly 249,000 vehicles in the U.S. for a manufacturing error that could cause engine damage. The recall covers certain 2016 and 2018 to 19 Honda Pilots, 2017 and 2019 Ridgeline, and 2018 to 19 Odyssey vehicles. It also covers 2 models from the Japanese automaker's luxury brand Acura, the 2015 to 20 TLX and 2016 to 20 MDX. Only models with V8 engines produced in the U.S. are affected, Honda spokesman Chris Martin told Automotive News. About 30,000 vehicles are affected in Canada and Mexico, he said. The connecting rod bearing in the engine of those vehicles could wear and seize because of improper equipment settings used during production of the crankshaft, according to the recall report submitted to NHTSA on November 8th. If the connecting rod bearing seizes, the engine can be damaged and run improperly, stall, stop while driving, and or not start, increasing the risk of a fire, crash, or injury, the report stated. If the problem occurs, drivers might experience abnormal engine noise, stalling, or decreased output with the check engine light on. Honda told NHTSA that as of November 3rd, it had received 1,450 warranty claims and no reports of injuries or deaths related to the issue. To fix the problem, Honda and Acura dealers will inspect and, if necessary, repair or replace the engine. Dealers were notified in November, and vehicle owners will be notified starting January 2nd. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Back with you on Oxford News This Week. Sports, yes, we have some sports. The Wildcats bowling program got its season rolling for the 23-24 season at Astro Lanes in Madison Heights. The teams faced off against Royal Oak Ravens, their season opener. Lady Bowlers won 30-0. Wow. Averaging 140 points per game. Sophomore Caitlin McFadden led the team with 2 victories in the game, 169-153. Senior co-captain Kaya Kaufman also earned 2 victories with a score at 164-139. Freshman JV bowler Elena Waltz had a victory, a very strong game at 183. On the boys' side of the things, they also took down the Ravens 25-5. Leading the boys was junior Jacob Kamaya, and the game's 214-186. Freshman Eli Wright scored 2 wins in his first ever varsity match. Coach J.R. Laffner said the day was a great, strong start of the season. He anticipates both teams will improve as the season goes on. Yeah, JR, I'm sure they will. We'll keep you in touch with their scores. Also, the season finally came to an end. The Oxford girls divers at the MASHAA diving finals that was on November 17th and 18th saw senior Ellie Zeider, junior Tristan Krajarski finishing up 2nd and 3rd place in the entire state. Yes, we have a strong diving team. Zeider came narrowly behind the first place score at 4:13.45. Krajarski took home a score of 392.05. Again, they've been besting themselves all year long. Bronze medal went to her with a team total of 33 points. Oxford Diving won the event, went undefeated on the season in diving events. Coach John Pearson was recently awarded the MHSAA Regional Diving Coach of the Year, as well as the overall MHSAA Division I Diving Coach of the Year. Congratulations to Pearson, Sider, Krajarski, and all the Wildcat divers. A great season. I tell you, we had some great lady flyers. It was great to see them on a few of our coverages of that. Watch for that over the holidays. I'm sure we're going to be running some of that. We're going to take a slight break. In our last story today, it's all about exploring yesterday's history and the holidays. We'll finish that up. Dave Kenny has one more segment. You're watching Oxford News This Week.
Canine Stray Rescue is Oxford's own local dog rescue. Each year, they take in hundreds of dogs and bring them into suitable homes. A certified nonprofit organization, Canine Dog Rescue strives to give pound dogs a new leash on life. To donate, adopt, or even volunteer, call them at 248-628-0435 or go to their website, dogsaver.org, and click on the Canine Stray Rescue League link.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. A compass that relies on polarized light can use the sun to tell where magnetic north is, even when it's cloudy. It's based on how some insects navigate and could be used when conventional magnetic compasses aren't reliable, such as on robotic drones. Insects like ants and bees navigate using sunlight's intensity and polarization, or how the light rays twist through the air through specially adapted receptors arranged in a ring formation in their eyes. This lets them deduce and track the sun's position and use it as a reference point, like the North Pole of a magnetic compass. It works even on cloudy days because polarization can penetrate through clouds. Euripides Gakanis at the University of Edinburgh in the UK and his colleagues have built a compass from 8 light receptors arranged in a ring that mimics how insects' eyes measure polarized light. Sunlight is most polarized at 90 degrees from an observer's line of sight to our star, so by measuring this polarization and the brightness of the light, Gakanius and his colleagues could use a simple computer algorithm to accurately find the sun's position. The researchers tested the compass on a wheeled robot in the same habitat as desert ants and dung beetles in the Italy and South Africa. They found it could track the sun's position relatively accurately, but because of problems lining up the robot with magnetic north at the beginning, the sensor was less accurate than they had predicted. Correcting for this error would have made it better than other compasses that detect polarized light, says Gakanius. The compass could be useful when magnetic compasses don't work, such as on drones which have rotors that generate interfering magnetic fields of their own. However, the device is about 15 centimeters across, so it would need first to be made smaller, said Gakanius. The compass could also be useful in better understanding how insects navigate, says Miriam Liedvogel at the Institute for Bird Research in Wilhelmshaven, Germany. This allows us to test the plausibility of any mechanistic hypotheses in animals because in these technical systems we can manipulate single components or mechanisms, she says. Although the compass is designed for working during the day, Gakanius says they got some data at dawn showing that moonlight could interfere with the detection of light from the sun. This means it might also work at night if they built a function to add the tracking of the movement of the moon or even the Milky Way. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
Hey, this is former Detroit Lion Rob Rubick and former Lapeer, Michigan school teacher. You're currently watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television. Enjoy it.
Now, time for our last story, another part of the news we always like to bring you. Exploring Display, wishing community a happy historical holiday season. Vintage postcards with the words of heartiest good wishes for a Merry Christmas. Just one of the dozens of historical holiday items on display at the Oxford Township Hall. If you're visiting the Township Hall, take a few moments and take a look. Volunteers Drew Holt and Sue Bozardet recently changed out the rotating display of the Township Hall that features items from the North Oakland Historical Museum. The Northeast Museum is organized back in 1971 by a group of senior local citizens who had the passion of preserving the knowledge of the local history and its artifacts. The society maintains a museum on Michigan Historical Site on the North Washington Street area. That's where the old bank was. Volunteers from the museum have maintained the setup for the Township Hall since 2021, and the latest display now contains an assortment of antique colored glassware, vintage Christmas cards. If you'd like to take a peek again for this history, when you're in the Township Hall at 300 Dunlop Road, maybe doing business there, stop there and take a look, and maybe it'll even inspire you to go to the museum itself over there on Washington Street. We're going to take a slight break, and we'll be back. I'll finish it all out. Oh, no, actually, guess what? We are finishing it all out. I thought we had more. As always, I'd like to thank our news gathering sources this week as we gather news from the Oxford Community Schools, the Chartered Township of Oxford, the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, and the Oxford Fire Department, as along with the Oxford Athletic Facebook page, the websites People Magazine, the Detroit News, Fox 2 News, Detroit, and the Oxford Leader, the Oakland Press. Again, we're giving credit to where we get it all from, the OxfordStrongAthletics.org and OxfordMuseum.org. Again, a lot of the photo credits going to those publications as well. Want to mention this before we officially close it out. Coming up on December 12th, Coffee and Conversations at the Parks and Rec from 9 a.m. to 10. That's coming December 12th, so if it's past December 12th, you missed it. We're going to be there featuring, I guess we're featuring ourselves, according to Dave Kenny. OCTV can be viewed on Spectrum Charter Channel 191, Channel 99 on ATTUverse. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, and Roku, as well as if you maybe have a show idea, maybe stop by that Coffee and Conversations and tell us about it. We would like to, if you would like to volunteer, OCTV you can stop by our office, 248-628-9658. Special thank you to producer, director, Kyle Snage, all the videographers and camera people that we have out there, news writer Allison Miller, our editor Marissa Haruska, also programmer Connie Miller, program coordinator Dan Zweiss, for our station manager Terry Stiles, for everyone here at OCTV. I am Jim Hughes, hoping you have a safe week. I invite you back next time. And again, we will take a look at Oxford News this week.